Hey, welcome back. Now we're going to look at the running backs today on NFL fantasy football with amateurs. So again, just as before the quarterbacks, I've got my four categories. I'm going to go show you each of them briefly, and then I'll talk you through making my decisions for the rankings. It's not going to be as in-depth a chat as it was yesterday when I was going through the whole teams. So running backs, first elite running backs that will play every down. 8 of these, so Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Henry, Chubb at number 4. I value him at 4, which is higher than some other people, because Kamara, Saquon, Zeke, Kamara's, as I said before, I don't value him as highly as I could, mainly because I'm worried about the Saints quarterback situation. Zeke, he's underperformed last season, and if people have got a bit of worries about the Cowboys and the O line, he might do again. And Saquon, again, injury worries, O line worries, and the Giants. Then we've got the starting running backs. Eckler, Mixon, and Davies as my Davis, sorry. Mostart, CEH, and Taylor, they're my top ones. Everyone rates Taylor highly. I've dropped Taylor down because of Wentz has been injured. I'm not sure what quarterback they'll be in if Wentz will be back. And again, Colts have a problem with the O-line too. Obviously 7 to 11. Using the sleeper app, for some reason, Najee Harris doesn't have a picture. So we just got a ghost in there at number 7. And then 12 to 16 for the rest of them. And then we got my third down, or my running backs, 2 running back sets. There's only a couple of these here, as you can see. And then finally, 2 pages for running back committees. So Gaskin's at the top because he's not really in a real committee, but they have said they are backs for certain situations. So it's kind of a committee anyway. And then obviously we've got Lions, we've got Buccaneers, we've got Bills and Raiders. Raiders haven't announced they've got a committee, but I view Jacobs and Drake as a committee, I think. So right, get to it. So McCaffrey, Eckler, Hunt, and Gaskin. Quite simple. McCaffrey, he'll be number 1. Cook comes up. Cook goes straight down. He's good. Vikings like to run. Henry, he's a beast. He starts at number 3. Chubb comes up. Chubb goes straight in. I just have more value for Chubb than... This is all about the way I rank them. Isn't even how good they are. It's how much fancy stuff they'll get me and how much trust I have in them. How much I rate them. So Jones is here as well. And is going in number 5 because, as I've said before, who can just make stuff out of nothing. And with Williams gone, he should have a better season. Here was a tough one. I had Kamara against Eckler. And I went with Kamara, only just. But then when I got to Zeke, it had to be Eckler. As I said, I had worries about Zeke. Eckler, I haven't seen him for a whole season. I've only seen him for half a season. I don't know how good he is, but those couple of games he scored a lot of points. It's got to be Zeke next, though, up against Mixon. But then now I'm going to have Mixon over Barkley. I said, of course, I have my concerns. But now we get that. I think I'd rather have Hunt over Davis. Hunt over Gaskin, but I'd rather have Barkley over Hunt. And that's the last of the elite running backs. Now I'll go back to thinking, do I want Hunt? Do I want Davis? And actually, Mike Davis isn't that bad. He did quite well at Panthers as well. So I'll pick him, especially because they did get Gorman, but at the minute he's still their number 1. Gorman's more of a backup. Most starts going in. He's just a really good back. CEH or Kareem Hunt. I was leaning towards Hunt, but then CEH is going to be the starter and should play every down. He'll come in. Then Hunt or Jonathan Taylor. Now I'll go with Hunt because I've got worries about Taylor. I think he's a good player, but I think he's going to be drafted a bit too high for how he might do this season. But I'll take Taylor over Trey Sermon. Then I've got Najee Harris pops up. He can just slot straight in. Damien Harris or Trey Sermon or Myles Gaskin. I've gone with Damien Harris. I think now Cam's gone. As I've said, the run game will be good. Robinson, he was a good player. I'd rather have Trey Sermon. I feel the 49ers will have a lot more run game than the Jags will. To be honest, they might run a lot less now they've got a really good quarterback as well. AJ Dillon up there. He is a second running back. He'll get quite a few snaps, but he's not going to get as many snaps as these. So Robinson's going to go in. Now, do I want Henderson or do I want Gaskin? I'm going to go with Gaskin. Just because, as I've said before, even though it's a committee, I don't think it's a true committee. Swift, though, is definitely on a committee. I ranked him higher than Jamal Williams because he will be the starter, but I don't think he'll be a true starter. Henderson is, however, so I'll have Henderson. David Montgomery, he did really good last year. Expect him to repeat that. Chris Carson was also there. He's the starter for the Seahawks. Do I want Gibson or do I want Swift now? And I'm going to go Gibson. But now, Gus Edwards or Swift? Gus Edwards is the number one, but I'd rather have Swift, I think. Just because Edwards has got a couple of guys coming back, and also Lamar Jackson's there as well to run a bit. I don't really want to take a Bills running back, so I'd rather go with Gus Edwards. Now I'm a bit like, Miles Sanders, I don't particularly want the Eagles running back, so I'm not saying he's going to be bad. He's just not top of my list, so I will go with Zach Moss. And then here we go. I think I would rather take Jamal Williams over Miles Sanders. And that's a tricky one. I put Bernard above the other Bucks running backs because I know he's got a set role. If the other two are proper committee, they'll be like in and out. 1 week they'll play, 1 week they won't, sort of thing. Whereas Bernard's a constant third down and gets all the PPR points, he'll actually fit in quite well. But I'm picking Sanders because he's obviously a starting back. And then got Edmonds at Cardinals. He is a starter. There's no Drake this year, but I think a lot of players are designed with Murray in mind. But he is, as I've said, the starter, so he'll slot in next. Now it's going to be AJ Dillon. I think even though Bernard's going to get the third down game time, Dillon will actually get like actual snaps if Green Bay rotate backs like they did last season. Now I've got Gorman's up, so it'll be Bernard next, then Josh Jacobs. Ronald Jones just went straight in. Do I want Gorman or do I want Fournette? I like, even though Fournette finished well last season, I feel like they want to go with Jones, so I'm going to go with Gorman next. Then do I want Fournette or do I want Drake? I'll have Fournette. Now Drake or Singletary? I think Singletary is probably the worst back that I would willingly draft. So it'll be Drake, then James Conner. While Singletary is the worst back of the two, Williams is obviously actually a backup back. Might get some third down plays. So I'm going to have to go with Singletary. I think Williams is better, but I think Singletary might see more game time. And then lastly, the final is obviously Williams just slotting at number 40. And there's the 40 running backs that I would pick in the draft. There's all their rankings. Hopefully that's been used to anyone who's drafting quite late and is undecided. But yeah, this video will go up now and then take a bit of hours, and then I should have tight ends and wide receivers. Wide receivers will take the longest. That's got the most people in it. So thanks for checking me out. See you in a bit.